Hey everyone. In this video I want to talk about people who look dead inside. More specifically, why you shouldn't date them. Now I'm going to trust that you've encountered people like this before because I've tried for multiple takes here to try to describe what this looks like, and it is so difficult because it's kind of like there's no life behind somebody's eyes, like there's no soul there. Like they aren't feeling any of their emotions, or they're just suppressing all of them so their eyes don't convey any emotion whatsoever. It's a very strange thing. It's kind of like, what do they call it, the 1,000 yard stare? That sort of thing, where it's like somebody staring into a void and they're just not quite, I guess, there. They're not fully in touch with everything going on around them. It's like they're disconnected. So that's about the best I can describe this. I hope that you know what I'm talking about, because we as humans rely heavily on eye contact for communication. We all have an innate ability to kind of judge or gauge people's emotions based on their eyes, the way their eyes look. That's why we all know the difference between a fake smile and a true smile, because somebody's eyes will show it when they're truly smiling. Whereas when you see celebrities smile for like a press release or something, you can tell when they're faking it because their eyes won't convey the emotions of true happiness, like when people are genuinely smiling. So we all can pick up on that to some extent. So when you encounter somebody who has that signature dead inside look, most of us, I hope, can spot that. It's just odd. It's like there's something off with them. And that's basically how you can spot these people. And now I want to get into why you shouldn't date them. Now, usually when somebody has this look to them, it's because they've dealt with some very traumatic things in their past. And that's usually the root cause of why they kind of lose connection with their emotions, which makes it so that their eyes look dead inside. It's like they don't want to feel anymore, or they just shove everything down. They're just suppressing their emotions or ignoring them so much that they are disconnected from them. They usually don't have a good relationship with their emotions for that reason. And I know a lot of you who may be nice, or you consider yourself a good person, if you encounter someone like this, your first thought may be to try to help them, to try to fix them. And I just want to say that you shouldn't try to save anyone who doesn't want to be saved. I mean, take it from me, I've been making these videos for well over a year now, and I can tell you, if somebody doesn't want to be helped, no amount of giving them advice or trying to help them will work. It just won't. It'll go in one ear and out the other. It'll be like you're talking to a brick wall. So if you encounter somebody who has this signature dead inside look, if they haven't asked you for help, then if you try to offer your help, it probably will be a waste of your time. They're just not going to listen. If they don't want to work on themselves, then they're just not going to take in anything that you tell them. You won't be able to fix them. So I know it sounds harsh, but you generally shouldn't even bother with that unless they seem like they'd be receptive to it, unless they've kind of communicated in some form that they want to work on themselves and become better. But if they don't have any of that, if they haven't kind of expressed an interest in fixing themselves, then just don't bother with trying to save them. Really, you shouldn't. Your time and energy is better spent elsewhere, on other people who will be able to basically be a bit more, I guess, receptive of that. So don't even bother with people who aren't. But anyway, usually when somebody is dead inside like that, it can even be because they're jaded or authentic. That's not the right word. Jaded or apathetic. It can even be because they're emotionally unavailable, which that's actually a good point, because when somebody has that dead inside look, they're almost always going to be emotionally unavailable, because if they have that look to them, that usually means they aren't in touch with their emotions. They don't have a good relationship with their emotions. And if somebody doesn't have a good relationship with their emotions, they're probably going to be emotionally unavailable. They're not going to know how to reciprocate somebody else's feelings, because they're just not going to be in a good place themselves. If they can't connect to themselves, how could you expect them to connect with you? That's going to be a big problem, and that's pretty much the main reason why you shouldn't ever try to date these people or enter into relationships with them. It'll likely end because they won't be able to reciprocate your feelings for them. They won't be able to reciprocate your effort either. So it's just not worth it. Now, I actually do have some experience with this. There was one time where I dated a woman who had this look to her, and I didn't quite notice it at first, or maybe I just lied to myself. I don't know. But basically, at some point, I realized she had that look to her. And maybe it wasn't always there, but there were moments where it came out. And I do remember it was strange. It was almost creepy in some senses. It's difficult to describe, but it was just weird how there were moments where it seemed like she wasn't fully there. Like it was a struggle for her to try to connect, and it almost seemed like she didn't even want to engage in that struggle at all. Like she just wanted to hide from it and not be emotionally there for someone else. It was bizarre to say the least. And I remember it made her very unattractive in my eyes over time because it was just weird. It's like she wasn't able to connect to me and even just the world around her. So I definitely wouldn't recommend that you ever date these people. It just won't be a good experience. Like I said earlier, they're almost always going to be emotionally unavailable. I can't even really think of an instance where they would have that dead inside look and actually be emotionally available. That seems kind of like two things that don't go together at all. So I couldn't see that being possible. And that fact alone, that's enough to show why you shouldn't try to date them, because you shouldn't try to date anyone who's emotionally unavailable. It is not going to end well for you. You are going to get hurt, you're not going to be able to change them, and it'll just be a waste of your time. I wouldn't recommend it at all. So anyway, I just wanted to make a video on this topic because I figured it'd be an intriguing one, and thankfully people who have that signature dead inside look are very rare, so you probably won't ever and really have to consider dating them, should I say. But if you ever do, just don't do it. Really, just don't. It's your time and energy is better spent on other people who are already in a better place. You just shouldn't have to deal with someone who's almost like a work in progress. Like they need to work on themselves, and if they haven't done so already or they're not in the process of doing that, just don't waste your time on them. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my rambling in this video, and if so, please like, comment, and share. That's the easiest way you can support me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!